Hi there and welcome. Today's show is for those of you who are doing content marketing and are overwhelmed by the amount of time and energy that you need to pour into it to see any results. Now, maybe you have a blog and you're trying to juggle that with your email marketing, with your social media accounts. You might even have a YouTube channel, and you're finding that it's not so easy to keep all of those platforms alive and well fed with high quality content day in and day out, or week in and week out. Well, that's what I'm going to share with you today, is a framework that I've been using to make content creation a little bit easier for me, especially since I do have a full-time job. I have a side business in which I serve clients, and I have a family. I have a husband and 3 children. So how am I able to manage it all? I'm going to share my content creation process with you in today's show. In case you're new, my name is Lexi Rodrigo. I am a content marketing manager and a copywriter. And as you can see, I love to learn new things, and I also love to share what I learn. I hope you'll stay with me in the next few minutes if you do want to find out how you can make content creation even just a little bit easier and more effective for you. Before I move on to the actual content of today's show, let me just go over some housekeeping items. First of all, whether you're watching this live or a recording of it, turn on your audio. There is an icon in the corner of this video. Turn it on to make sure that you can hear me, because that is really the best way to experience and learn from this video. And get a pen and paper, because you will get at least one good idea that you want to remember. And if you do find this video useful, I hope that you'll share it with your family and friends on Facebook, and even through email and other platforms that you're active in. And finally, at any point during my presentation, if you have a question, please feel free to type them in the comments. Even if you're watching the recording of this video, go ahead and type your comments, because I always go back and respond to them. And if you are watching, please say hello in the comments, because that is really the only way that I can see who's watching right now. Otherwise I don't know who's here. So again, welcome, and let's get started. So what are the 3 R's of content marketing? Now, if you know me, you know that I am very much into eco-friendly living and taking care of our environment. And so the 3 R's are inspired by the 3 R's of eco-friendly living, the 3 R's of taking care of our environment. So by now you've guessed what the 3 R's stand for, right? And I am going to adapt that into the idea and the process of creating content. Now, let me back up a little bit. First of all, a lot of us go into content marketing, and this might be true for you as well, but you may have started doing content marketing with a misconception, because when the internet became widely available and it became easy for really anybody to create content online, a lot of people said that, hey, content marketing is easy, it's free, it's a really easy way to promote your business and to sell more stuff. And so you may have started doing it with that idea of it being easy. Now, here's the thing. Once you got started, I'm sure a few months down the road that you figured out that it wasn't actually that easy at all. Because for content marketing to work, it takes consistency. You have to be regular about it. You can't publish a blog post this week, nothing for the next few weeks. You can't be erratic about it. And I think it's this realization that makes a lot of content marketers and business owners fail because they quit, right? They start blogging for a few months, they don't see any results, so they stop. And there's a lot of research that proves this, right? A lot of new blogs are created every day, but after just a few weeks or months, they become inactive. And it's the same thing with podcasts too. There's a lot of podcasts that are being launched every day, but after an average of 12 episodes, or after 12 episodes, the average podcast becomes inactive. And I think that's the point when the content marketer realizes that, oh boy, this is harder, this is more work and time than I expected. So if you're going to do content marketing, I'm not discouraging you. It is an effective way to build an audience and to promote your products and services. But do go into it with realistic expectations as to the amount of work and time that it involves. And really it's not your fault. It's not because you're not a good content creator. It's really because of the environment. When I was getting started online in 2008, and that was 10 years ago, it was relatively easy. I remember doing an experiment wherein I started publishing a blog post in one of my blogs every day. So a new blog post every day. And my traffic increased significantly. I can't remember the exact number, but I think it doubled or something like that. But back then, that was easier to do because I think the average blog post back then was like 450 words. So for somebody who was a solo author of a blog, writing a blog post every day or publishing every day was not that hard. Now fast forward to today, the average blog post, or those that get a lot of traffic and shares anyway, is upwards of 1,000 words. So if you're the only one writing for your blog and you want to publish every day, it's not going to be an easy thing at all. So go into content marketing. I still highly recommend content marketing, but just realize that it's going to take a lot of time and it's going to take a lot of work. But I'm going to show you how you can actually reduce or lessen or mitigate the amount of work and energy that it will require from you. And that's the antidote that I call 3R Antidote to Content Marketing Overwhelm. So let's go to the first R. The first R is reduce. It's not actually, can you read that? Okay, reduce. So what do I mean by reduce? Reduce the amount of content that you create. Wow, are you hearing me right? Yes, you heard me right. I said reduce. Reduce the amount of content you create. So, now don't get me wrong. There is, like I just said, right, you have to be regular. So there is a minimum amount that you do need to produce. You have to be consistent about it, so that your audience will know what to expect and they will show up for you if you show up for them. So for example, one way of reducing the amount of content that you create is to focus on just one main platform. Like you might decide that it should be your blog or it should be YouTube, whatever it is. Be clear in your mind that you have one main platform, okay, what your main platform is. The other way to reduce the amount of content you create is to do fewer things, to do fewer things yourself. So that means delegating, identifying those parts of your content creation process that you can hand off to a VA or a writer that you hire or some other kind of content creation assistant. And if you're creating videos, then definitely you might want to delegate post-production to a video editor. And so going back to the one main platform, how do you choose your main platform? And for that, I have 3 E's. Okay, the 3 E's, letter E, of choosing your main platform. And the first one is your expertise. Okay, so what do I mean about this? Choose a platform that is going to be easy for you to work with. And so that depends on whether you are a better writer, a better speaker, or better in front of the camera. So for some people, writing is really easy. And so for them, a text-based platform makes the most sense, right? Whether that's your blog, whether that's a LinkedIn article, or Medium, the platform Medium. But for others, really, I've talked to people where writing is really something that is very difficult for them. So if that is the case for you, then your main platform probably should not be your blog, right? You're probably better off with a video-based platform or an audio-based platform. I find that for most people, even for writers like me, speaking is actually easier than writing. Because, writing, it just requires a lot of organization and thought, and you have to edit and revise and edit again and revise again to really polish it. Okay. And second, when you're choosing your main platform, is the second E. So the first E is expertise or easy. The second E is enjoyable. So what do you enjoy? And this is not always what you're good at as well. Some people enjoy creating graphics, for example. Some people enjoy talking. Some people enjoy writing. So think about what you enjoy the most. And this is an important criterion for choosing your platform, because if you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to keep doing it. And content marketing requires an investment of time. You're going to have to do it for at least 6 months before you can realistically see any results. So make sure that it's a platform that you enjoy doing and using. And thirdly, of course, and this is definitely not the least criterion, the third E is effective. The platform needs to reach your target audience. So you have to go where your target audience is, right? So if you haven't built a blog yet, a blog readership yet, then it probably does not make sense for you to focus all of your energies on your blog. You have to go out there and reach your target audience before drawing them into your blog. Now, if you enjoy writing, the best way to do that would be to do guest blogging, write for other people's blogs, okay? More than you write on your own, because you might spend all this time and energy writing your own blog posts, but if you don't have a loyal readership yet, well, you can't expect anybody to read your blogs, so your blog posts. So it'll be a waste of time and effort. But if you went out there and wrote for other people's blogs first, then you will see that eventually you will attract your own readers. Now, what if you're not a writer, you don't particularly enjoy writing, but you want to have a blog? Then you can go into becoming a guest in other people's podcasts. If, for example, you enjoy speaking, right? And if you enjoy appearing on camera, then you might look for people in your field who do live streams like what I'm doing now, and present yourself, pitch yourself to be interviewed in their live streams. So you're getting the idea, right? Okay, so that's the first R, is to reduce the amount of content that you create. The next R is to reuse. All right. So I used to work for a very smart marketer, internet marketer, Nicole Dean, and she used to say that you should never create any content without knowing at least 14 other ways that you are going to reuse that piece of content. So I don't know if 14 is the actual number. That might not be correct. But the point is, you never create one piece of content and just have one use for it. Now, when I say reuse, it's like with the environment as well, right? If I wanted to reuse, let's say, a can, right? Let's say I opened a can of tomatoes, and instead of throwing the can, I want to reuse it. I might, put a nice cover on it and turn it into a pencil holder or a pen holder. So it is still essentially the same can, right? It's the same can, except that I'm using it for a different purpose. So similarly, with your content, you take the same content, the same format, and use it in all different places. For example, let's say this video, I'm going to upload this video onto my YouTube channel, and I'm going to embed it also in my blog. So I have reused it 2 times, right? Now, I can edit down this video into 10-minute clips and upload each clip to LinkedIn. So that's the third way that I could reuse this video. I can also ask people, like other bloggers that I know, and ask them if they're interested in embedding this video onto their own blogs. So then each time somebody else embeds my video, then it gets reused. So that is what I mean by reusing your content. So can you imagine if people saw this video reused on YouTube and they like it and they're writing about something similar and they embed it on their websites? Can you imagine the audience, the new people that I'm going to reach out to just because I made my content available out there and available for others to use and reuse as well? So that is the second R, reuse. Okay? And the third R is to recycle. Okay, let me move that so you can see it. So when you recycle your content, so going back to the analogy with the environment, so let's take my can, and let's say I want to recycle it. I will clean it up and put it in the recycling bin. It'll go into my city's recycling center. And what they will do is break down that can and probably mix it with other materials and turn it into, I don't know, playground equipment. So when we recycle in the environment, the original material assumes a different form altogether. So in a similar way, when it comes to your content, recycling means that you change the format of the content. So the substance of your content remains the same, but the format is different. So let me give you an example again with this video that you're currently watching. From this video, I could turn it into a blog post. So I'm going to get the transcription of this video. So I end up with text. I get that text and paste it into my blog and publish it as a blog post. Now, I can also create a few slides and turn this video into a slideshow. I can extract just the audio from this video, upload it into my SoundCloud account, and I have an audio, right? Or if I had a podcast, I could turn it into a podcast. And I have seen people doing that where they record their podcast both as a video and audio, and they upload the audio version of their podcast on YouTube, and the audio they upload on iTunes. So it's one you see what's happening here? It's one effort. With one effort, you create content for so many different platforms. So let's look into other examples of recycling content. Let's say that you started with a blog post. Let's say that's your main medium, or your main platform is your blog. So you write a blog post. You can get part or even the entire blog post and send it to your email subscribers as a newsletter. And then you can break up parts of your blog post and turn them into social media posts, which is what happens with the tool that I use, which is Missing Letter. So let me type that in case you're not familiar with it. It's called Missing Letter, and I believe this is how it's spelled. All right. So Missing Letter is a web-based app that it gets pinged every time you publish a new post on your blog, and then Missing Letter scans your blog post and automatically creates social media posts out of your blog post. So that's an example of how your blog post can be recycled. Okay, and what else? Now, if you have several blog posts around a similar topic, you can mash them together into a special report. So you can take 3 to 5 blog posts and turn it into a special report. Now, a very good example of this is Darren Rouse with his 30 Days to Build a Better Blog. I believe that's the title of it. Again, let me type that, and I hope I got the title right. So what 30 Days to Build a Better Blog is Darren Rouse's first ebook. If you're not familiar with Darren Rouse, he is the founder of ProBlogger. It just happens to be one of the most popular blogs in the world today. So what Darren did was he wrote actually a series of blog posts around how to make your blog better. So then he got them, he compiled them, he turned the blog posts into an ebook called 30 Days to Build a Better Blog, and he sold the ebook. So pretty much the same content was available in his blog, but people still bought the book. And I'm one of them, because, you know, with a blog, it's hard to find all of those articles, right? Whereas with an ebook or a book, you could buy it printed. It's organized, and he had additional resources in the book as well, so it's easier to consume. If you ordered the printed book, you can bring it with you anywhere you go, even if you didn't have a computer, and you can write notes on it and so forth. And some people just prefer to read from a physical book than from a screen. So that's how you can recycle your blog posts into a special report or a book. Now here's the thing. Did you know that you can also recycle your blog posts into a video? And again, there are a lot of a number of tools that you can use to make that super easy. I am going to type 2 of them here. So Rocketium, I don't know how to pronounce it. And Lumen 5 are examples of web-based apps that will help you to recycle your blog posts into videos. So it's, again, at least with Lumen 5, similar to Missing Letter that I mentioned earlier, it will grab what it thinks are the main ideas from your blog post and insert it into a video. And it will even grab suggested images for your video. So all you have to do is review, change the images if you don't like them, or you can edit the text, and then you render the video, and there you have it. You have a video just like that. It's really easy. And if you've never tried it, I do suggest that you try it out. So again, Rocketium, and Lumen 5 for that. Okay, now when it comes to recycling, here's a very important thing that I'd like you to think about, and that is that video is the richest medium out there. With video, you have image and you have sound. And so because it is the richest medium, it is also, I find, it's the easiest to recycle, right? Because you can take the image, you can take the sound, and then you can transcribe it and you have text. Whereas if you were starting with text, it's harder to move from text to richer media like images and sound. But it is still doable. So, yeah. So that's it, guys. Those are the 3 R's of making content marketing easier and simpler for you. The antidote to content marketing overwhelm is to reduce, reuse, and recycle. So, any questions? Do you have any questions for me? Remember to post them in the comments below. I will check back later on, and make sure to respond to your questions. So in the meantime, if you liked this presentation and you would like to learn more about some of the details, I will be speaking at the Business Builders Summit tomorrow, and I'll be talking about easy ways to create content without writing. So if you're interested in that, sign up for the summit at momwebs.com/BBBS. So the link is over here, and I will also type the link in the comments so you can just click on it. So register for the summit, and you will have access to my presentation of easy ways to create content without writing. The summit is completely free, as is my presentation tomorrow, but you do have to register. That's all you have to do, is register for the summit. So go to momwebs.com/BBBS to register for the summit, okay? And you will have access to that additional training. Well, this has been Lexi Rodrigo. I hope you found this useful. If so, remember to share the video with your contacts on Facebook and other social media. And do join me again next week, same day, same time, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. And even if you're watching the recording, remember to type your questions in the comments. Thanks very much. Have a nice day and enjoy the rest of your week.